to Zines and Roger. I'm going to show you how to do a foundationless start, or some people call it a chainless foundation, or some people call it like the foundation treble or the foundation double, or there are lots of names for it, but essentially it's an alternative to making long chains and having to work in each chain when you start a new project. So I strongly recommend giving this a go. I think it's a much better alternative to just doing a standard chain and working into that. You can use it for loads of different projects. I find it's really good on garments. So I used it when starting the sleeves for my cardigan. It was great for this cuff, this bit sewn on afterwards. I also use it in things like mittens, again, because it's great, but also it's got more elasticity than a standard chain might have. That means it's great for cuffs, socks, garments, and just, to be honest with you, any project. You can do single crochet, half double, or a double crochet. I mean, you could do it with whichever stitch you wanted to use it for. The principle is the same throughout. It is the fact that you create an extra chain to work into on a standard stitch. I will show you what I mean. If I go too fast on any of the stitches, YouTube lets you control the speed of a video, so you can slow it down if you so desire, speed it up, or jump to the timestamps. I'm going to leave timestamps in, so you can just jump to whichever stitch you want. So I'm going to begin with a single crochet one, then I'll move on to a half double one, and then a double. That's all US terms. A US single crochet is a UK double, and chain 2 and work in the second chain from the hook. You're going to do, it's a play on a standard single crochet. Before you finish it, you add in an extra chain. So instead of yarning over and then pulling through 2, yarn over and make a chain, so pull through 1. That's an added chain. Then yarn over and pull through both loops. So there's an additional step, and that creates the space where you want to work into next, which is here, and then the one behind it too. So here's the additional chain, and then finish off the stitch. Mine's a bit loose because I'm going super slow to try and show the process. With a bit of practice, your tension will be perfect and it won't be loose and baggy like this one. So you're repeating that very same stitch. And you're kind of working sideways, back to front, because here you're creating your chain. You would work into these bumps here, but when you're working it, you feel a little bit upside down. Oops, ignore that, I just went into a half double. That was autopilot. So you keep going until you've got the desired amount of stitches, and it should look something like that, and you'll work into the top there, having been working on the wonk thusly. So that's the single crochet or UK double crochet. with the half double, that's UK half treble, chain 3. The difference here is that you yarn over before you begin the stitch. And you go into the first stitch. So make 1 chain, then yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's what a half double looks like. I'll just hold up the single so you can see the difference. And the difference is the height, really. By the way, I am using a 5.5mm hook with Aran weight yarn, which is similar to worsted weight. So let's move on to the double, which is a UK treble. And I'm going to try and work this one a little bit longer because I want to show you another technique afterwards. So chain 4, and then in the 4th chain from the hook, you're doing a treble, sorry, US double with an extra chain at the beginning. So there's that extra chain. And then finish off as a standard stitch. So work into that chain and the one behind it, if you can actually catch it, and then go through to chain 1, then finish off the stitch as normal. So it might look a bit skewy for the first couple of stitches and you're wondering if you're doing it right, but just keep on at it and then you'll see a familiar pattern emerge and it'll be fine. Remember to slow down the video if you need to, or press pause. I'm just going to add a few more stitches onto this one because I would like to show you, as I said, a continuation of this technique, because I was asked by somebody just to demonstrate how I began the cuffs of my mittens. When I release patterns, I do give the written instructions. However, sometimes there's nothing like seeing it in the visually rather than as written. So I just thought I'd take a moment at the end to demonstrate how I start mittens. Oh, I said that really strangely. Mittens. Right, let's pretend that's adequate. I'm just going to line them up. You make however many stitches as per the pattern. There you have the 3 different stitches for beginning a project. I think my favourite is this one. I find it a lot easier to do than... I think single crochet is far more fiddly than the other 2. However, that's just because I've never used it. Like literally never used it in a project. I don't like starting off projects with single crochet very often, so I like to dive straight in with doubles or half trebles. Anyway, that's by the by, it's personal preference, whatever floats your boat. Okay, so let's pretend you wanted to make yourself a pair of mittens similar to these. So follow the instructions as to how many stitches you need. and then you're going to join the ends together. Right, I count the initial 4 chain as a stitch, so this is the top stitch of that 4 chain, so just go in there and slip stitch to join, making sure you haven't twisted it. Now you'll see that there is a gap, but luckily you have a tail, and after you've finished your project you can just make a couple of stitches to close that, get yourself a darning needle or whatever to close that, but for now you can just leave it hanging, that's fine. When I start my mittens I chain 1, even if I'm using a taller stitch. I think if I was to go larger than this then I may chain 2, but for a double crochet here, UK treble, I would just chain 1 and then begin a front post stitch. And then depending on what the pattern says, a lot of mine are trying to look like ribbed cuffs, so I'd go front post, back post, like so. I would like to point out that I am crocheting with a cuff that doesn't do this stitch. This is an afterthought cuff. I don't know what the correct term is. It's different anyway. So assuming you go all the way around and back to here on your last stitch, you would then join to the first stitch with a slip stitch and then repeat as necessary. How many stitches did I do there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would slip stitch into that, ignoring the chain 1 there. But that's like another story. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you how I joined it. Don't forget you can sew that close afterwards. Right, I think that's it. If you've got any questions, give us a shout, let me know, but I hope this helps and I hope you give it a go. Don't forget to check out my blog and just go through my YouTube videos, because I've got loads of tutorials on there and I'm sure you'll find something you like. If not, well, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you again next time. Thanks, bye.